What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nick Noodles coming at you with another great video. I am back for 2021. I've got a lot of goals for this year, both on YouTube and both in my personal life. So thank you all for tuning into this video and for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And hopefully 2021 can be a really good year for this channel. I am a little sick, coming down with a cold. I shouldn't have COVID because I tested negative, but you never know. In today's video, the first one of 2021, I want to talk about whether or not dunks are going to be dead this year. And last year, without a doubt, was the year of the dunk. I think bigger than the Jordan 1. I personally think this hype was brought up by Travis Scott. Other people argued it was the Strangeloves or the Ray Guns. But for me, it was definitely Travis Scott that just brought all this massive hype to dunks. They're just a super clean shoe. The colorways they were releasing were also really good colorways, very wearable, and they were also super cheap. $100 retail is a great price for a shoe, especially when we get Yeezys every week. It seems like those are like $250, so sometimes even $300. And even Jordan 1s, that's a $170, $180 shoe that you have to buy for retail, even more if you're paying resale. And so because of that low retail price, and I think because of all the good colorways, it was just bound to be the hypest shoe of the year. Do I think that hype is going to carry over into 2021? I don't think so. I think Nike is going to run this shoe into the ground, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because it is a good shoe. It really only hurts resellers that were planning on, trying to flip these all of 2021. But I don't think that's going to happen for a few reasons. Before we get into that, though, my Bodega Dunk Highs actually came in, and I'm gonna be honest, man, these things are some garbage. Like, I was watching Seth Fowler's review of the shoe, and he really enjoyed them, and I can't get around it. I don't know. These are my personal size, and I've already sold them, so that goes to show you that I really don't like these shoes because I have a very bad habit of keeping stuff that I want to resell for the personal. But let's just go through what this comes with. I'm holding one of the accessories. You get replacement laces. These are definitely thicker and look a lot nicer. I mean, this definitely fits the theme of the shoe. So I don't know why these aren't on by default. You also get this very nice handkerchief that says Nike Bodega on it. This is like better than the shoe itself, in my opinion. Like, they could have sold this and I would have bought it by itself. But yeah, this is super cool. I like this piece. The wrapping itself is pretty nice. I mean, it has Nike and Bodega. It has the nice Nike Bodega branding on it. But let's just look at this shoe in hand. And I like the colors. Like, I can get around like a very brown and tan shoe. But for me, and even like the materials aren't terrible. Except for this swoosh. This swoosh is absolutely atrocious. And also this Bodega thing is also atrocious, and for some reason, like, it just looks awful on this one. Like, you can't even barely read that it's Bodega. That, or I'm just functionally illiterate. But on this one, I believe, yeah, it's a lot easier to read the Bodega on this one. So I don't know if that's just suede quality control or what. What do you guys think? This is definitely easier to read than this, right? Am I tripping? The one thing I really don't like about the shoe is just all these leather laces that are just all throughout the shoe. I mean, I think it's supposed to mimic a baseball glove, and I mean, they definitely hit the mark on that, but I'm not really trying to wear a baseball glove on my shoes, so it just doesn't really appeal to me. But yeah, that's just the main turn off for me. It's those laces that are just everywhere. And it's just super loud shoe. I'm not one to wear super loud shoes. The only really loud shoe I have is the Flame Converse. But yeah, resale is kind of tanking on these already. They were sitting at like $350 to $400 day one, and now they're at like $250. I was actually able to sell these on eBay for $290. That includes shipping, so I think that's a pretty good come up. That's like $50 more than I would have made from StockX. I'm going to be trying to sell more on eBay this year for sure because StockX robbed me of so many fees last year. So let me know what you all think of those Bodega Dunks. I did not get the friends and family pair. Otherwise, I would have made a separate unboxing showing how hype I was. And it was kind of a letdown how they did it because we knew that if you got it off the Bodega website, you had like a 1 in 20 chance of winning. And instead of making it a surprise, like when you unbox it yourself, they just added baseball cards to your order on Shopify. So you could pretty much tell like a day after the release whether you got the friends and family pair before you actually got it in hand. And that was kind of disappointing when I checked it, and it had just showed that it was just the shoe shipping out. I am grateful I got those though, because you know, profit is profit at the end of the day, and not everybody was able to grab those. Now let's talk about why dunks are likely going to start bricking this year and just become way too oversaturated in the market, driving resale prices down pretty much close to retail in my opinion. Now there's multiple reasons. The first being that Footlocker is going to be releasing them now. So if you don't know, all the dunks last year were pretty much exclusively on the sneakers app and on pretty much all the high tier Shopify sites like Kith, Concepts, Ama Maniere, I think I pronounced that right, Social Status, all those types of sites, which are pretty much impossible to cop unless you're running like BalcoBot or Sol AIO or something. Manual users don't stand a chance on those drops at all. Even if you have an early link, you have like a 10% chance of making it out of the Shopify queue and actually copying it. So the reason why I think, you know, dunks were so profitable last year was because the stock wasn't that high every release. And also because the retail was so low again, the profit margins were pretty insane on some of them. I mean, like the Kentucky and the Syracuse dunks, $100 retail, and they were pretty much selling for $500 to $600 at some point in some sizes, maybe even more. But now Footlocker is getting stock. So botters are just going to be able to feast on those websites. It's a lot easier to bot Footlocker than it is Shopify, and it's also a lot easier to cop multiples on Footlocker than it is Shopify. So essentially, you're going to have a bunch of botters on the market copying these. They're going to be trying to move pairs quickly, so they're pretty much going to undercut the market just to make a quick profit and move on to the next release. In like 10 days, we're supposed to be getting 5 dunks dropping on one day, so that's another reason why dunks are probably going to start losing hype. They're just going to start pushing out too many models, I think. And eventually, it's like, once you have 1 or 2 pairs of dunks, you really don't need that many more. That's for most people. I mean, some sneakerheads out there cannot get enough Jordan 1s or dunks or Air Force 1s and all that type of stuff. So it'll appeal for them. But for someone like me, once I have 2 or 3 dunks, it really doesn't make sense for me to go for a bunch of them. So I definitely think that demand is going to drop because the supply is going to be so high. And then lastly, we're also getting Nike by You dunks. I think sometime this week. I'm not entirely sure. I have been having a lot of fun playing around with colors. This is the one that I want to make. It's kind of basic, but it's very wearable. And I like that you can change the material. Like you can do suede and leather. So for this one, I'm doing leather paneling on the toe box and the back. And then on the center, I'm doing white suede. So if I'm able to cop that, then I will be pretty excited. But I have a feeling that it's going to go a lot faster than people are expecting. And people are going to start taking L's. So I would highly recommend designing the shoe that you want and saving it to your account. That way, when it actually drops, you can just add it to your bag and check out. You don't want to be stuck customizing the dunk right when it releases. The site is probably going to lag and crash. And so you're probably not even going to be able to design a shoe. So make sure you have one saved. And again, this whole Nike ID release is very great for people that want them for the personal. But if you want to resell them, it's only adding more onto the market. So that's kind of an L. Now, I do think that the Nike SB dunks are still going to have plenty of resale, mainly because whenever a Nike SB dunk drops, the stock is like so low. Like local skate shops get like 10 pairs and then they backdoor half of them. And then there's like 2,000 people going for 5 pairs of shoes. On the sneakers app, they're also pretty much non-existent. Also, the SB collaborations are usually a lot more hyped and more unique, and they have some type of story behind them. So they're just more of a collector's piece and more sought after. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Let me know what you all think of dunks. I definitely want to get a Nike by You one, but after that, I'm probably not going to be going for them. I could definitely see, you know, some of the smaller sizes still reselling pretty well, just like Jordan 1s do in the grade school sizes, are pretty much up to like 7 and 8. I think like some of the larger sizes aren't going to be doing too hot. I could see some of them maybe reselling for $150 to $200, but I highly doubt we're going to see a lot of these dunk releases reselling over $250 like they were last year. But I hope you all like this video. Stay tuned for more content in 2021. I have a lot planned before school starts back up again. So until next time, I hope you have a nice day.